Agriculture is a very profitable business, and in this video I want to share with you agriculture business I think you should go into in 2025 if you have some money to invest in. My name is David, and on this channel I try to simplify business processes in a way that is easy for you to understand so you can go into it based on my personal experiences of trying those businesses, or based on the experiences of people who are really trying the business that we have talked to, we have interviewed. We bring them that knowledge, break it down for you, and bring it to this channel. All right, so agriculture is very profitable, but when we talk about agriculture, people always think about farming. But farming is just one part of agriculture. For me, I classify it as a production part. Like also the post-production part, which is what I'll be talking about in this video. Now, production part in agriculture in Nigeria is even very, very difficult. It's difficult for many reasons. One of the major reasons being that even right now, farming in Nigeria has become a lot of challenge because of insecurity. There's a huge insecurity around people who do farming, and many of them don't go to farm again, or many of them have lost their farm. In fact, I was told of a story of someone who established a huge farm in Kaduna State, have to abandon the farm because of insecurity. Now, the same insecurity you find in Plateau State, you find in Benue. Communities are being sacked and they can't even farm, so farming right now is not the best of profession as we speak today because of insecurity. There's other issues also they have to deal with. You have to deal with the issue of irrigation, you have to deal with the issue of understanding the soil, understanding the farming itself, the issue of input, fertilizer. There's a whole lot when it comes to production part. So production part is not something that you can just dive into. It's something that you need to have a lot of patience, you need experience, you need knowledge to really go into it. Now, but I'm talking about the post-production part. Post-production part is something that you can really go into and make a lot of money, all right, because it's mostly an investment. It's mostly your money just working for you. And when you talk about post-production in agriculture, the opportunity in Nigeria is really, really huge. I'm telling you, the opportunity in Nigeria is really, really huge because of the series of challenges that are bedeviling the post-production sector of agriculture in Nigeria, starting with even the harvesting of the agro produce. Majority of agro produce when harvested are actually lost in the process of harvesting because we don't have the modern technology or modern equipment to use in harvesting our crops. So many of the items are even lost in the process of harvesting. Take for instance egusi. Do you know many of the egusi that are harvested are actually processed manually? In fact, I've tried to bring you guys to show you guys how egusi processing is done. It is done so manually that many of the egusi is actually lost in the process. All right. So this is a huge business that someone can come up, import some machines or distribute machines, or find a way to work with farmers to make sure that their harvest, doesn't get lost, and that is a huge business on its own. Beside the harvest, if you move from the harvest and you move to, say, storage, it's a huge problem. There are no proper storage facilities around Nigeria. In fact, many of the villages and many of the communities and many of the markets where these items are brought and sold in large quantity barely have good storage facilities that you can find there. The storage facilities you will find, many of them are not really good facilities. All right. So storage facility is something that is a huge business if you have the money and are willing to do a little bit of research to invest into it. In fact, as I speak, as of the time of this video, a Chinese company called CJC, I just read that they have already signed an MOU with Nigerian Exchange Commodity to begin building storage facility across a few markets in Nigeria, because this Chinese company have seen the potentials already. So they are working with a ministry in Nigeria to try to do that. Meanwhile, many Nigerians who have the fund, have the money, are sleeping on the opportunity. Recently, we were in Kaduna when we interviewed a grape farmer, and one of the problems that he talked about is that there are no cold room facility for them to store their grapes that they're producing. So if they had like a cold room facility to store their grape, then they'll be able to make more profit. So that's the business opportunity, because in that community almost everybody they are farm grape, but there are no cold room storage facility. So if you can build one there, then farmers will be able to harvest and then put it in the cold room. That already is a huge opportunity. So that's just one part. But various places across Nigeria, as you travel, you soon just realize that there are no storage facilities in the markets in many of the places where farmers actually produce their crop or take it to sell. So it's a huge opportunity. Now, if you move from storage, you move into logistics. That is a bigger opportunity. A bigger opportunity because as we speak right now, I don't know of any player in Nigeria that has taken full advantage of the logistics business, agro logistics business in Nigeria. There are no company that is mainly focused on agro logistics. So you cannot find agro logistics company in Nigeria. You can't find that. And that is a very huge problem. So most of the things that are produced, you still have to, transport them using the regular 911 vehicle or pickup or the general vehicle that we have. But there is no like a purpose built, a vehicle that are just focused on agro. Okay, focus on agro produce, so that these vehicles are moving from the north to the south, or from the north to the east, or from the north to the west. We don't have that. So it's just a major 911 that they use, the same they will use to carry animals, the same they will use to carry crop, the same they will use to. So it is very challenging. All right. So, but this is a huge business. It's a very huge business. In fact, even many times finding the logistics company or finding the vehicle to transport your goods is a huge problem. Many times a huge problem. So if someone who can study the market, study the sector, and then come up with a full agro focused logistics company, I can tell you they will make a lot of money. They make a lot of money. So if you decide to focus generally on agro logistics, great. If you decide to focus on just cold rooms where you just be able to transport perishables that are produced from either Kaduna or from Plateau or from Taraba and then move them to other parts of Nigeria, that is a huge business. So logistics is a very huge business opportunity in Nigeria, especially in agro sector, because no one is really addressing that. Anyone that is into agro business will tell you that logistics is a very huge problem. So sometimes you can buy a goods, to move it from one location to another can take many days, because either the vehicle is not available or the vehicle breaks down and you can't find another one and all of that. So it's a huge issue. Now, if you move from logistics, you move into processing. That is also a very big opportunity, because we barely have enough processing plants or processing facilities in Nigeria. Now, even the facilities that we have, the processing facilities that we have, many of them are set up in places that are not the production hub of that raw material. I give you an instance. Okay, many facilities now many people are trying to set up facilities for, say, yam flour or cassava flour and all of that. But majority of these facilities that are being set up are not in a cluster or community where lots of those things are produced. Some are, but many others are not. Okay, now many other places, like you go to Benue State, where they produce a lot of yam, you can't really find a huge factory or multiple or 2, 3, 4, 5 factories that are actually producing and processing this yam to flour or processing the yam to other finished products. You can't find it. So majority of the yam that are produced there are also just sold in raw form, in the yam as it is, because no one is actually looking into starting up a yam processing factory in that place. And starting a yam processing factory in that place, first of all, will reduce your cost of getting the raw material, because you just get it from the people. Second, it also increase the production that is being gotten from that community, because you become the major off-taker of many of the products that they will bring. You can off-take them, and so it will help them to be able to farm more and more. All right, so as across the various agro produce in this country, you really will not find processing facility for that agro produce, whether you are talking about cocoa in Cross River or cocoa in the southwest, or you're talking about cashew. You can find a lot of cashew today in Kogi, in Benue, in many parts of southwest, but you cannot really find processing facility processing this cocoa or this cashew into a finished product. So from harvesting to logistics to storage to processing to value addition to secondary processing, these are huge agro business opportunity that anyone who is smart enough can understudy and take full advantage of. Now, on my first channel, my main channel, I have also done a documentary with a Ninja group, okay, and I showed how they're actually processing cassava flour, they're processing yam flour, they're processing other less fufu and all of that. Okay, so if you follow my first channel, you'll see that video there. So if you're someone who wants to go into processing, you can see the factory, how they set it up and all of that. And they also produce a lot of machinery that you can buy from them and begin your own mini or small or even large scale processing, factory in Nigeria. All right, so you can start small, start medium, or start large. There's a group that there's people that you can work with. So you can check out the first channel. You can watch the documentary there if I've uploaded it there. But I'll do a summary of that documentary right here so you can get to see it. So the other day, we're actually analyzing the cost of building a storage facility in any of those markets that we buy the storage things from and all of that. And we realize that the cost is not that high. With 5 to 25 million naira, you can actually build a good storage facility, because with 1 million to 5 million, you can get 1,000 square meter plot of land. Even if you buy the plot of land for 5 million naira in these places that I'm talking about, and then it will take you maybe another 10 million naira to put together, or 15 million naira to put together the structure. That's just 20 million. And then the other 5 million will be for levy, settlement, and all of that. I'm telling you, with 25 million naira, you can put together a good storage facility in any of those communities that that have huge market where all of these agro produce are sold. So right now, in places that we store our agro produce, per bag that you store is around 1,000 naira. So if you're able to store, let's say 50,000 bags in a period of 6 months, okay, you would have been able to make 5 million naira in that period of 6 months. All right, now that could be higher, that could be lower. And the good thing with this many of this storage facility, it's not like they're running electricity or they're running diesel. You just put up the structure, make sure the place is well fumigated and vented and ventilated and all of that, and they're good to go. Less hands, just have your security and have the people working in there, and that is it. All right, so sometimes the investment in these things are not like it's very, very high. You just need to understudy it, do your due diligence, do a few research, and then you realize that there's a lot of money to be made from investing in this sector. So I decided to bring you guys this opportunity. If you're someone who wants to take this information further, take it further, whichever sector you choose, harvesting, processing, logistics, production, whichever one, and you're able to make something out of it. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the